Hey guys, Saki here from SAKITECH, and in today's video I'm going to do a quick comparison between the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus and the recently released OnePlus 6. Now as we do this comparison, I'm going to take a look at the display quality, the build quality, the specs, the features, what the S9 Plus has that the OnePlus 6 does not, and vice versa. Now obviously a lot of people are wondering if the OnePlus 6 can beat the S9 Plus, especially because its price is lower than the S9 Plus. So as we talk in this video, I just want you guys to be aware of the price difference between the two smartphones. So the S9 Plus right now is $840 for the base model, which is 64 gigabytes of storage and 6 gigabytes of RAM. The OnePlus 6 is $529 for the 6 gigabyte version with 64 gigabyte of storage. The one I have is the one that has 8 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabytes of storage capacity. So the price on this one is $579 in the United States, and this one in the United States is $840. Alright, so we're looking at a price difference of $840 minus $579, which is $261 of price difference. So let's dive in and talk about these phones. The first thing I want to talk about is the display, the front of these smartphones. Now, one thing I do want to give credit to the OnePlus 6 for is the front glass on both of these smartphones is Gorilla Glass 5, which is something you would expect from a premium smartphone. So you have Gorilla Glass 5 protection and Gorilla Glass 5 protection over here. So they're really tough and scratch resistant, durable displays, screens. But when it comes to actual display quality, the S9 Plus actually pulls ahead very easily. Basically, the S9 Plus display right now is the best display on the market. Now, this one has a higher resolution. It is Quad HD Plus resolution, and this one is 1080p resolution. And of course, that simply means that this phone has many more pixels. That means it's going to be sharper and crisper when you look at it carefully. That is not to say that the OnePlus 6 display sucks in any way. It's actually a very bright and very vibrant display with really nice color accuracy. It is in fact an AMOLED display, and this one over here is the Super AMOLED display. But Samsung really is an expert at manufacturing displays. So this display is going to be sharper, crisper, it's going to be more vibrant, and even brighter when you go to the maximum brightness than the OnePlus 6. However, that's something you get because you're paying more for this smartphone. And of course, Samsung does have a track record of having better displays overall when it comes to display manufacturing. Now, as I look these displays side by side and I look at the text, this one simply has better contrast. This one also has nice contrast, but it's a little bit more washed out as opposed to the Samsung, which is more sharper. Okay? And the next thing I want to talk about is the actual design of the display. So the OnePlus 6 has a notch, which is not a big deal for some people, but some people don't like it, especially when it comes to viewing videos. So in portrait orientation, as I traverse through the phone, it doesn't really matter to me that there's a notch. But when I go and watch a video in full screen mode, that's when I have a slight problem. And the problem basically boils down to this. Now the Samsung S9 Plus's bezels are all even from all sides. This one is a little bit bigger than the bottom bezel, but overall you get a sensation of a balanced screen. With this one, you have a thicker bezel on the bottom, and you've got thinner bezels over here, then you have a notch over here. So let me play a video and show you what I'm talking about. So if I go to the YouTube over here, so as you can see, the video playing on the Samsung Galaxy S9 in fact looks better than the one playing on the OnePlus 6. And the reason is because this just seems more immersive as opposed to this one that has uneven bezels on the top and bottom, plus a little notch that bites into the actual display. So I prefer this one to watch movies. And on top of that, quick thing relating to the actual media consumption is that the S9 Plus does have stereo speakers. There's one speaker at the bottom and one built into the earpiece over here, and they're very loud. And also, if you go to the settings, you in fact have, let's go over here to the sound and vibration, all the way down. You in fact have the Dolby Atmos option, which gives you a surround sound-like experience. So the sound that comes out from these speakers is much more richer than the single mono speaker that we have at the bottom of the OnePlus 6. So when it comes to display, Quality, display design, and sound, the S9 Plus does take a lead. And again, that is something you get for paying that extra price on a premium product. Now, design-wise, I can't really say which one is better. I like this one better, obviously, and especially because it still has those curved edges on the corner over here. That is simply a unique signature design element that belongs to the S9 Plus, but this guy actually does not look bad. Both of these smartphones feel very premium in the hand. So if somebody gave them to me and said, which one do you think is more expensive? I cannot say that it's the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus because both smartphones are extremely premium to hold in your hand. And again, design-wise, even though I prefer this, some people might like this because design is a very subjective quality. I'm gonna leave that up to you. If you want, you can drop a comment down below and let me know which design you prefer. And of course, if you flip these phones over, you can see the back of these phones. There's going to be a lot of fingerprints. One thing I do like about the OnePlus 6 is you can buy the OnePlus 6 with this matte finish. Even though this is glass, somehow they made it matte so it doesn't attract as many fingerprints of this pure glass back. But when I look at these smartphones, it really, again, I like this one better. And the reason I like this one better is because of the way they have this cameras and the fingerprint sensor compartmentalized over here in this rectangle, as opposed to this one that is 3 separate pieces over here dropped under each other. But again, that is a personal preference. Again, somebody might like this one better. I just happen to like this guy a little bit better. When you do grab these smartphones, for some reason the OnePlus 6 actually is easier to hold in the hand and just feels more secure, but the S9 Plus seems a little bit more slippery. But regardless, I highly recommend that you buy a case for either one of these phones, whatever your choice is. All right, let me flip them back over and move on to some of the other features. All right, so the next thing I'm going to talk about is the software. So software is something that is very important. Both of these smartphones have Android 8.0 Plus, so it's got the latest operating system in both of them. But Samsung has the Samsung Experience Overlay, while the OnePlus 6 has the Oxygen OS overlay. Now, I'll let you know right off the bat, both of these smartphones come with the same exact processor. So when it comes to power output, they are the same. But because the OnePlus 6 has a more lightweight system, it is in fact snappier to operate, okay? The Samsung Experience is a little bit heavier than the Oxygen OS. So let me go to the settings over here, go all the way down, go to About Phone. And as you can see over here, if you tap on software information, you have Android 8.0 and you have Samsung Experience 9.0. But if you go over here, with this guy, if you go all the way down About Phone, you'll see we have Android 8.1.0, which is a little bit ahead of this one. And also we have the Oxygen OS 5.1.5. And as you can see, if you look at the menu over here, the OnePlus 6 is simply more lightweight to look at. For example, I can go into here to device maintenance, and this thing is built in right into the smartphone. I can tap these things, do some fixing. We don't find those things in here, so those things actually make this operating system a little bit more smoother. Also, the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus has things like the Edge functionality. So you can have these Edge screens on the side, which are widgets. And you can actually, quick tools, you have all these options you can add here. You can have a clipboard over here. You have the soft key Edge that can go back home if you wanted to. Okay, so you have all these options such as apps, shortcuts that you're not going to find on the OnePlus 6, even though OnePlus 6 has some nice customization properties hidden in this menu over here. Some things are even similar to the S9 Plus, but when it comes to software functionality, the S9 Plus is in fact much richer in features. So you can even go over here to the theme store and download all kinds of different themes that you can install onto your smartphone that changes the look and feel of the smartphone completely. Let me show you what I'm talking about really quickly over here. So as you can see, the entire scheme of the smartphone has changed to this different styling because of the themes store. So let me go back to the themes. Let's go to default, click apply. You can always go back to the default theme. But I suppose you get the idea about the software. Again, the S9 Plus has more in it. It doesn't lag, but it's not as snappy as the OnePlus 6 because OnePlus 6 is lightweight, but then the OnePlus 6 does not have all the features that the S9 Plus has, as far as software is concerned. Now that's a big deal to me because 90% of the time I'm interacting with the actual software in the smartphone. So I even have things like this. So I can go over here, go to Samsung, and I can tap on secret files. And this is a built-in option in Samsung that is called a secure folder, into which you can hide apps, photos, files, video, whatever, and you don't have to worry about it because they're locked down in a password. If I put my password in, I click OK, it'll take me into the secret files location. So the gallery, the calendar, the contacts, the email, the notes, the files are all hidden under that password. This feature is built into the Samsung, so nobody can uninstall this application and see your secret files. It's always secure. Again, the OnePlus 6 does not have things like this. Now, the OnePlus 6 and the Samsung both have basic Android customization tactics. You can download any launch screen you want from the Play Store. So in that sense, they're both very customizable and personalizable. And some features are actually the same. So as you can see at the bottom, you have a navigation bar on both of these smartphones. You could always go to the settings over here. In this one, you can go to display. You can go into the actual navigation bar, and you can make modifications to the navigation bar, such as picking different colors. You can hide the navigation bar if you want. If I click this and I tap this twice, the navigation bar disappears. Same thing I can do with this guy. I can go over here to settings. I can go into the the buttons, and I can go to the navigation bar, and I can hide the navigation bar. So if I tap this, it's gone. So you can get a full screen view. But again, if you look over here and over here, you'll see that this one has more options to choose from than this guy over here, okay? That's because Samsung always has more customization properties than many other phones that I've seen. Actually, the only other phones that I have seen that can match Samsung in this regard is the LG phones and the HTC phones. Anyway, let's show the navigation bar over here. I just want to show you the difference in software. So that is the software and that's the story. They both are running great software. This one is speedier, snappier, lighter. This one's a little bit heavier, but it's got more software features. But neither phone has any lag. One advantage this one has is it has 8 gigabytes of RAM. Same processor on both, but this only has 6 gigabyte maximum. So again, that also translates to slightly better system performance. So that's the software. The next thing I want to talk about is the camera. I'm not going to go into too much details. Both smartphones have dual cameras and both cameras produce amazingly rich photos. Now this one is going to be a little bit more advanced, but for the average user, it doesn't really matter. Both of these guys can record at 4K at 30 or 60 frames per second, which is fantastic. Both phones have super slow motion modes. This one can record 960 frames per second, but only for 6 seconds. This one can record 480 frames per second, but it can go up to a minute. So that option for me actually is a little bit more desirable than the 6 second option on this one, even though it is twice as slow with the slow motion video, the S9 Plus. The camera quality overall, again, the S9 Plus is slightly better. It's going to be cleaner. It's going to be sharper. It's just going to take better photos overall in all lighting conditions. And that's because it has a better sensor and better software calibration right now. But that does not mean this is far behind. If a random person came to me and said, which camera do you like better? Honestly, I don't really care. I can go with either camera and be satisfied on a day-to-day basis because I'm not a photography scientist. And of course, front cameras on both of these smartphones perform very well. So I'm not going to go into that. I don't really use it that much. But the rear cameras, as far as video capabilities are concerned, are almost equal. And as far as photo capabilities are concerned, they're also almost equal. Both have the regular camera, which is the standard size. And of course, it has the telephoto lens, which allows you to get some nice portrait shots. Again, that's the regular one, and that's the telephoto. You've got dual LED flashlight here and here, so that's great. Now, one thing I want to let you know, the Samsung S9 Plus does have this thing over here is not a flashlight. It is in fact a heart rate sensor, and it can even read your blood pressure. So you have on the back here an actual heart rate monitor that can read your heart rate. And if you want to do that, what you do is you go to the Samsung, you go to Samsung Health, and you basically just go to the heart rate, tap on measure, and you can put your finger onto that sensor. It's going to actually sense your heart rate. So these things Samsung S9 Plus has had, the Samsung phones have had for a while, but it gives it a little bit of an edge as far as features are concerned. Other things to look at, the S9 Plus has wireless charging. It's got IP68 water resistance, so you cannot damage this phone with water, but you can damage this one with water. So it doesn't have IP67 or 68. It just has everyday water resistance, which means you're protecting against splashes here and there. But I would not recommend submerging this guy into water at all, or even trying to wash it. With the S9 Plus, you can literally wash the smartphone and it's going to be fine. And of course, this does not have wireless charging. This does have wireless charging. Both of them has fast wired charging, but the dash charger on the OnePlus 6 is in fact faster than the fast charging on this guy. Not by too much, but it's still the best in class on the OnePlus 6. So as you can see, there's a bunch of differences. The OnePlus 6 lacks some features, but it has some positives, but it also lacks stuff like software features such as the Edge screen that I used on a daily basis, okay? I would say for most purposes and intents, the cameras are the same, especially for an average consumer, but the display on the S9 Plus is better, much better than the one on the OnePlus 6, even though this is not a bad display. So look, you're going to the store and you're buying this for $579, the 8GB version. And then if you go to the store and buy this, you're paying $840. And we said the difference in price is $261, and that is a lot of money. So if you pay that extra premium, you're getting a phone that has more features than the OnePlus 6. But if you want to just pay in the range of $500, you're getting a phone that is almost as premium as this phone minus some flagship features. So the decision is going to come to you. Yes, the S9 Plus is better than the OnePlus 6, but the S9 Plus is also more expensive than the OnePlus 6. So if you want to spend less money and still feel that you own a premium product with the latest processor, 8GB of RAM, potentially the fastest smartphone in the market, then the OnePlus 6 is a very, very, very good choice for $579 in the case of this version. But if you have the money, you might be better off with the S9 Plus. It's a larger package. It's got more features, it's got more flagship features, and it's even got flagship plus features such as the ability to dock this smartphone in something called a DeX Pad that transforms this smartphone into a laptop, okay? So Samsung has these capabilities built into it. So I talked about most of the things that are important to me. Now what you can do is you can drop some comments down below and let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Do you think the S9 Plus is better or the OnePlus 6 is better? Or maybe you just agree with what I'm saying. The S9 Plus is in fact better, but because it is more expensive. But if you want a premium phone at a low price range of $500, $570, then the OnePlus 6 is in fact the perfect choice for anyone. You simply have to be aware of what you're getting and what you're not getting as opposed to this guy. One more thing you're not getting on the OnePlus 6 is the expandable storage, which is not that important anymore because you have a lot of storage options, but the S9 Plus still has micro SD expansion slot and this does not. Alright guys, so drop your comments, thoughts, and concerns down below. Make sure to subscribe to SAKITECH for more videos to come, and also give this video a thumbs up, and for now, have a fantastic day. And I did forget to tell you, if you do use Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, make sure to follow me on all @SAKITECH Online for the latest updates. Have a great day.